What tender and juicy drama is going on at your school workplace? A teacher at our school was constantly being reported by her assistant for grossly and absurdly exaggerated offenses. Because the assistant doesn't like the teacher she's been assigned to this year. The teacher is new to our school. The assistant is related to a high-up administrator. And has already been moved several times. Administration kept writing her up, the teacher. Despite her protests that the complaints were absurd. And kept requesting this assistant be switched with another. Teacher finally had enough and quit. Admin spreads around the rumor that the teacher had to leave her job for mental health reasons. True story. Someone left the freezer door open and thawed out 100 frozen pizzas. We all know it was you. Jeremy. One co-worker had a bunch of cash stolen from her purse. Everyone knows who did it. Not only was she the only one not in attendance at a meeting when the money went missing, but she suddenly started avoiding my co-worker when they had been friends before that. Also, she would have to know exactly where the purse was stored in order to sneak in and back before being noticed. Now no one in the office is talking to the alleged thief. That's our version of office justice since management can't fire her without more proof. Nothing really. But I try to say as few words as possible every day. So far my record is 4. Hoping for 3 today. Currently sitting at 1 word. Damn receptionist happened to see me coming in. So I had to give her a morning. But I'm hoping a nice you.I at 430 will polish off my new record. Edit. Today's out boys. My boss asked me a question and I had to respond via a whole lying sentence. Word count up to 10. Maybe tomorrow. Edit 2. Due to popular demand. The sub-low word count working has been created. I'm on mobile but I'll update the sub based on demand. I will also post my daily totals and strategies. Thanks for the wildly unfounded faith and support. A math cheating ring got busted. They had several group texts set up and one person would get answers from one group and spread it to the others. They're looking at suspending and failing something like 50 people. In their senior year too. Over in customer service. Brenda's complaining about being too hot and throws a tantrum every time someone touches the thermostat. Brad on the other hand, because he's cold and fed up of Brenda's, keeps sighing with her and changing the thermostat. Ran into a lot of Brenda's when I worked HVAC in college. I came up with a solution the company still uses today. Which makes them a very popular firm in our region for office settings and their HVAC needs. I installed a new thermostat in the open floor plan office and put it under a plastic lockbox and gave Brenda the key. Telling her she is now in charge of the thermostat for the whole office. But the thermostat isn't hooked up to anything. So she can get her rocks off over having ultimate authority over everyone's comfort while not actually impacting anything. The actual thermostat is inside the manager's office. Which just a temperature sensor hidden away on a post somewhere in the larger officer. Saved the company tons of money on their climate control bills because they don't have people turning the systems on and off and up and down all day. Well, I am pretty sure my CEO has been stealing money from our company. I'm a textile designer and we have factories in India and China. No one wants to ship our product because they haven't been paid. Personally I haven't gotten a raise in 3 years. All the while the CEO is driving a Bentley and just purchased a new $2+ million home. He is constantly getting angry calls from our factories whose sum he owes millions of dollars to, 7 mil to one in particular, and I am pretty sure if he went to China he would be legally detained BC of how much he owes people. A lot of which fly to our office here in the States and wait for him for meetings. And he ducks out the back door like a coward. One day he even drove an old truck to work so no one would know he was here. You might want to start putting your resume out there. This probably isn't going to end great. We thought the coffee pot was dirty. We thought the coffee was bad. We got new creamer and then new sugar. Hours have been spent trying to figure out what's wrong with our coffee. It's the water. The water. A bloke in my office is going to be on Robot Wars and now I'm trying to be his friend. A person in our student council made a petition to allow boys to have any hairstyle they want. He got like 300 signatures out of a school of 1,000, but the principal voided the petition and forced him to resign from the council. Sounds like he got a great lesson in how government works. There are 2 teachers in the office who sit side by side, each other passively fighting over a computer. It's been this way for 6 months now. There are other computers and seats available, but neither one will budge. The way it works is one comes in first. He starts using the computer, and when the second one comes in a bit after, he'll just sit right next to the first dude really close. The convo usually goes something like this. "Are you done?" "No, not yet. I might be a while." "Ah, that's cool. I've got time." "Okay, cool." At my graphic design school there are a couple of people who are constantly falsely accusing each other of plagiarism. It has gotten so bad that our professor has had to talk to the whole program about it. One of the higher ups in a writers forum I frequent went on a rant about a week ago about someone who stole the plot of their most recent story. Straight up calling them out in public. It's not true, not even close. Except for a few initial details. I skimmed them both. And it doesn't hold up, but it came out that the person who wrote the new book is also a forum member who hadn't previously revealed her pen name. Half the people are sticking with the higher up, and the other half are accusing her of being a bully over nothing. Romance novels tend not to have particularly innovative plots. After all, it's a real storm. Everyone is ed at one department. Because any request for services results in their request for a 2-3 week strategic direction plan. These should be simple 1-2 hours jobs. Another department was just caught using an outside vendor to avoid the department in question. And the Cold War just got spicy. Cops came in looking for one of our co-workers. Nobody is friends with him, so we have no way to know what's going on. Assumptions are running wild right now. Edit. All of your ideas are way more exciting than ours. We were thinking like family emergency. But I like underground fight club better. I'm gonna throw that one out tomorrow and see if anyone bites. Without going into any specifics, we rolled out a major update to our software. It has an obvious bug. Our customers are red. We had assurances from the vendor that it would be fixed before go live. And it wasn't. People might get fired and or sued over this. We have a legit HR investigation going on cause there was a boob grabbing incident. Hope the boob grabber gets fired cause she is a blight upon the office. A coworker was arrested for having a SZL relationship with a 13-year-old girl. He also assaulted the arresting officer, dislocating his pinky. Last week, another co-worker was fired for sexually harassing literally every woman at our plant. Edit. Fixed spelling error. Edit 2. It was the officer's pinky. I bet HR is busy right now. A brewing cold war between our project management organization and our software architects concerning who has authority over the process by which software systems are built. Edit. For the record, I am an architect. These comments are giving me fuel to support the cause. I appreciate that. The architects. PMO is there to deliver the project, and decide who has governance. But they won't have the authority going forwards, as eventually a project ends. Failing that, employer design authority, who is usually an architect, and it'll stop all that nonsense. Last person to get to the daily meeting on Thursday has to buy donuts for the office on Friday. The drama is next level. I'd use this as an excuse to skip the daily meeting, but just popping my head in at the last second so that I've technically shown up. Then I'd buy the donuts for the office. I do this for 6 weeks and everyone gets used to knowing that I'll always be last and the pressure is off for them to show up early. Then on week 7 I show up early and them up. Just so they remember who's doing them a favor. Then on week 8 I go back to normal and buy donuts. And then on week 9 I stop showing up to work altogether, but leave an empty donut box at my desk with my suicide note scrawled on the lid. Actually, I'd been hired for a new job back on week 7, so I'm over at that job now. But these assholes don't need to know that. Our young African American lesbian temp was just fired by her older white straight boss. It's causing some major backlash and racial division in our office. However, he has hard, undeniable evidence that she was claiming overtime she didn't work and turning in fraudulent time cards. She was also taking overly long lunches and forgetting to register time she'd taken off on her time card. Overall, she was working just over 1/2 the time she was actually getting paid for. I'm one of the very few number of people in our office who know this. But I'm not allowed to say anything due to employee confidentiality rules, so I just have to sit back while her boss gets verbally pummeled by people who don't understand what's really going on. My supervisor got arrested for sex abuse. There hasn't been a conviction, but he's been in jail for 2-3 weeks. Doesn't look good for him. Last place I worked, the VP of HR started sleeping with the married manager of HR. She got a divorce. And a few months later ended up leaving the company when VP of HR started banging some other employee. This was a big company. BTW. Like 10,000 plus employees. Edit. I guess he was a dedicated frontline manager. He never shied away from the grunt work. Mike Pence is visiting our building tomorrow and we aren't allowed to use the parking lot because of it. We have to park over a half mile away and walk. But the Secret Service did put a fake plant on the floor. So that's fun. Edit. I personally don't care about the half mile walk. But it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Water the plant. My competitor's company let go of their most experienced technician. Officially he resigned. But he was fired for racist and sexist comments. And overall complacency. However, now they have 3 people doing his job. And the ups and incompetence are incredible. Full stop. Good job security though. I work for a very prominent doctor in my city. Who has a solo practice. His wife is the practice manager. They hired a cute blonde RN in her early 30s, married, to work part-time. I work next to her and she tells me everything. Doctor proceeds to hit on her in person, via intra-office instant messaging, and via text. The latter 2 methods cause the wife to take notice. Instead of apologizing for extreme discomfort this caused the nurse. The wife progressively and passive-aggressively pushes her out of the practice by gradually reducing her hours, making her keep track of everything she does minute by minute, and generally making her work environment tie. She's gone now. It worked. I'm taking a month off before starting a new job. Being home more has opened my eyes to just how frequently our neighbors fight loudly with the windows open. And how bad the woman and the couple is at faking her orgasm. Co-worker had a meltdown and put in her 2 weeks notice. Started kicking and throwing. Why? Someone changed the outfits on the mannequin she had dressed the previous day. Yikes. We have been noticing small mysterious changes over the last month in our office. A square of brand new carpet being torn up and replaced in a hallway. A runner in front of the cafeteria disappeared and a few weeks later we got a brand new one. Parts of the hallways have been strangely roped off. We also just had security cameras installed in all of the walkways. The situation was finally brought up and discussed in a private meeting. An employee has been pooping randomly throughout the building during business hours. These have been rather large piles of poop that people have narrowly missed stepping in. This is a very professional workplace, which makes this entire situation all the more perplexing. This person is still on the loose and it could be anyone. TL. Doctor, our office is currently plagued with a mystery pooper. Nothing too bad. We're chronically understaffed, so I'm boycotting some work on purpose. Like months behind a few projects. They expect me to work massive amounts of overtime to catch up, but I refuse. Was promised an assistant back in April. And again in July. And last month. Out of S to give. It's with my ex-co-workers and my barmates. They've all been sleeping with each other. And the drama has started to build. Jealousy and other bull. What used to be a carefree fun zone has turned into people avoiding each other. Getting into stupid matches. Etc. I don't want nothing to do with any of that. At some point it's going to blow up. And rather be as far away from it as possible when that happens. The new girl in a CS, customer service, just kinda joined the other early to mid 20s something ladies at lunch one day without being invited, and they are all semi-nice, so it was no big deal. Well, I guess new girl is a bit of a stirrer and has been talking to other people about ladies in the group. I'm so excited to see where this goes. A woman at my work is lying about having cancer. She comes up with new sicknesses and calls out all the time. She told us she's pregnant with twins and sent us an ultrasound picture. We searched pregnant twins ultrasound on Google and it was on the first page. It goes so much deeper than this too. She would send pictures of herself dead on the hospital table from the nurse, using her phone, to my direct manager. We don't know what to do. Our bosses are telling us to fire her. But we can't. Every time she calls out she has a doctor's note. I just started my current job almost 2 months ago, beginning of September. Since then, we've had the head of marketing leave his position. Come to find out, he was not only in charge of much of the company's financing, but also the owners. He has been stealing money, over $100,000 from the owner. Opening credit lines in his name. Draining bank accounts. Etc. Not sure how long it's been going on. But I did find out that the same guy was in jail from 1994 to 1998 for embezzling over $1 million. Not sure why they hired him here in the first place, back in 2003, knowing this. I work IT, so I've had to spend my time going through his emails and his personal computer and shutting down his access to anything and everything. Fun stuff to jump into. Recently, everyone taking AP Economics at my high school answered on every question of a multiple choice test to get a curve that gave each of them a 100% lawful evil am I right. Predictably, administration cancelled the test. Both classes received lectures about work ethic instead of economics the next day. Edit. Chaotic edit. Okay, fine, back to lawful evil. Make up your minds already. Today we introduced a swear jar board. With scores. I am sitting at 1. Because the two guys who introduced it are jealous pricks and decided that masturbation was swearing. Just because they were sitting on several points each. It took me a minute to understand that you said the word masturbation and you weren't jacking off at work. There's a dude who takes like 30 minutes on the toilet at any one time. Our office is small and has 1 cubicle per gender. It's actively joked about while he's in the loo. Then we have to shut up as soon as the handrier goes off. He jerks off in there. Buddy. Boss makes $1. I make a dime. That's why on company time. I made a complaint to my boss that our only manager has been doing a tight job. Everybody was on my side. Until she had a breakdown and claimed she was ganged up on. Now, everybody is trying to place the blame on me. My boss, who is getting a divorce, is sleeping with my roommate co-worker and I'm the only one that knows. Except for all of you kind. I work in a hostel in Amsterdam. It's a quick turnaround because we hire travelers who are passing through and we let them work for their bed. Changing bed sheets and cleaning toilets. People usually stay a couple months. There's this new guy who everyone loves, but I am growing more and more suspicious of him. Things keep going missing in the rooms that he cleans. Started off small. Earphones. Sunglasses. Hats. Last week £150 was stolen and 2 days later he asked me the exchange rate for £150 to euros. He also told me that he is traveling on his brother's passport using a fake name and was kicked out of his parents' house for stealing. I don't know who to turn to. I like the guy, but we can't have a thief working in the building. I've got lots of juicy stories. We get some crazy characters coming through. Do something about that. Don't just be complacent. This dude is really eyeing up. We aren't allowed to decorate our cubicles for Halloween until Monday according to HR's email. However, they have had their decorations and wreaths on their doors for at least a week now. Post HR's email on their door, threatening to report them to HR for violating HR's policies. That'll stir the kettle. Recently, 3/4 of the HR staff were either fired or quit within a week. In the film industry. And I at least am very intrigued. I'm in the animation industry. So the Weinstein thing plus the Chris Savino thing is still a hot topic. We're cleaning house now. Don't be a sexual predator. Kids. The part-time key holder might be on her way out. She got written up last week for not recovering the store and for not stocking milk and water. My manager came back from vacation yesterday to find that the same girl did not stock milk and water and didn't recover. I've seen the term keyholder before, but it only conjures memories of Ghostbusters. What exactly is a keyholder when it doesn't pertain to Gozer? There's a mouse in the coffee room hiding under the fridge that the secretary has named Frederick. I saw him this morning. We aren't bros or anything, but I don't hate him. Edit. My manager left and the rumor is that the co-worker no one gets along with is being groomed to move up and replace her. She literally refuses to talk to anyone unless it's to yell at them for something a few times a week. No small talk. No hellos. Only when she sees something she doesn't like will she open her mouth. In our high school English, our teacher's husband has cancer, so she is taking off half the semester. And the sub we got was amazing. Then 2 idiots in his first period decided to fool around under the desks. And the girl gave the guy a hand job. Because the sub had below standard eyesight and was sitting on the other room behind his desk, he didn't see it happen. Only 1 or 2 people did see it happen though, and one of them took a video and it spread like wildfire around the school. The girl got suspended, as did the guy. And the sub got fired. I don't work there anymore. But a gas station I frequent because they became my almost family. The guy that replaced me was caught eyeing his girlfriend behind the counter at 2 AM. That was pretty funny. One of our lead staff just left for a new job, so her spot is now needing to be filled. I know of 2 girls who are bloodthirsty for that position and have already started acting like it's theirs. I talk to other staff when they are not around to see who everyone would want to get the job. Apparently no one wants either of them to have the job, but everyone definitely knows which one they don't want to have the job. The juicy drama from my old job still keeps me pretty entertained. Have a couple of good buddies that keep me filled in on the daily juice. The most recent is that the ex-con who works there, he was in jail for murder by the way, is living on the company owner's private yacht because he's homeless and they desperately need this guy for his skill set. Apparently the guys were searching Craigslist to buy their other co-worker a male escort as a joke for his birthday and stumbled upon the ex-con who lives on the owner's yacht advertising as a male escort for males. Apparently there were all sorts of pictures of him sucking dudes off and shoving a 24-ounce beer can up his ass. All these pictures were on the owner's yacht. Most recent news is that the company owner knows about it and is trying to keep it quiet so his wife doesn't find out what was going on in their boat. Oh boy, do I have a fun story for you. Last week in class the professor seemed a bit off, like she wasn't all there and was teetering a bit. About halfway through class she just stops teaching and is staring at this girl in the front row. She slowly put down the chalk she was using and turned to face us before screaming, "Your sex life is not my problem. Why are you masturbating in my class?" What followed that was a tirade about the falling standards of education and how all Americans are lazy. Oh, she's a visiting professor from somewhere in France. Then she just storms out of class. The class debater up front is crying and quietly leaves while we all sorta just stared at each other. And then I went and had some dope ass smoked ribs and a beer for lunch. Those ribs were scandalous. A coworker and I were overlooked for promotions. The one that got it shouldn't have, as she was on probation, but our manager conveniently took too long to post the position. We are both leaving end of November. After we get our bonuses. Only we know we're leaving and having 2 vacancies won't help them make goal. Justice. I recently did something similar. I worked at a law firm as a trust accounting paralegal. I was promised a significant bump in salary and a promotion before tax season began. The promotion and salary bump never happened. The managing attorneys apparently did this to 2 of the other paralegals as well. So, the 3 of us all started looking for new work and we all left within 2 weeks of each other. It was amazing. I left in the middle of tax season, which really aired with my boss's vacation. Lol. The second girl left without any drama. But by the third, the HR lady started laughing, thinking it was actually a joke. Haha, glorious. And your employers too. My girlfriend is stage managing a show for one of her degrees. Every night the stage has to be reset, including a decent amount of heavy lifting. The other stage manager never helps and just looks at the prop closet pretending to take inventory. Leaves my tiny little GF to do everything. She's also condescending AF. Edit. My top comment. Thanks friends. As for the advice, I did theater for a while as well. So we talked about different options. There are actually way more bad vibes than this concerning bad leadership in the show overall. But the show is in a few weeks and she's just gonna ride it out. She's not very confrontational. Oh my god. Drama in theater? I don't believe it.